Hello everyone, it is I, the Fable of Fables, your new best friend. Life literally said I'm not allowed a break, so we're pushing forward. Is it gonna come bite me in the ass? Yes, it is, but who cares? I need to learn to roll with the punches, even if it means me burning out and being nothing more than ash at the end of it. But what can I say? What can you do? But nothing. Anyway, today we're learning about Mammon and the Knights of Avarice and Trenchcrusade. Let's go.
It is said that no other archdevil has brought more mortals to workshop at the altars of hell than
Oh
the
yeah.
Prince of Greed, Mammon. No archdevil has so directly positioned himself in opposition to the Almighty as he. Where God preaches generosity in giving, Mammon understands the flawed nature of man, attacking human self-interest with subtle grace and patience. Mammon understands that the pebble leads to the avalanche.
It's kind of true when it comes to humanity. Humanity is very flawed. When it comes to greed, it's depending on how greedy you are, you can kind of destroy a man with greed. It's interesting.
And once a human has a taste for a full belly and a
Yeah,
fuller purse, they are
yeah,
easily herded toward damnation.
yeah. Not everyone, but many
Mammon was
people,
not
though. Sadly.
originally a being of great power, created as an angel before the first falling. He was said to stare enviously and longingly at the gilded roads of heaven. When Lucifer rebelled, Mammon threw in his lot with the usurper, seeing the chance
So,
for
question to those of you that are more religiously inclined and or have studied the Bible more than me, was Mammon really an angel that fell with Lucifer? Is that a thing? Did he have a different name? Can someone please explain that to me? I'm generally curious. I want to know.
progression amongst all the upheaval. When they were cast out of heaven into the waiting fires of hell, he was one of the first to see the value in small acts of defilement of the new currency that was the corruptible human spirit. Over millennia, Mammon built his power, tapping into humanity's endless inner war with its own greed and desire, shoring up resources and influence until eventually he became an archdevil to rival the likes of Beelzebub, Asmodeus, and Belphegor.
Jesus, dude.
Mammon himself is a creature of pure greed, never content with what he has and always plotting and planning to get more. There are rumblings that he has his eyes on the very throne of hell itself. Mammon might be the archdevil of greed, but he is also the archdevil of prosperity,
Yep.
and those who worship him will truly benefit, gaining all their heart's desires, for a short time at least. Mammon loves to manifest in the lives of two rivals, offering both the riches and advantages that they seek, then dashing the hopes of one and using them to destroy the other. If two merchants are trading, he will inspire one to lie about the quality or availability of goods, while gently massaging the greed of another to over-leverage himself financially to try and take advantage,
Oh
thus
dear.
resulting in the ruination of one. He'll then plague the one who lost everything with thoughts of anger and betrayal until eventually the man snaps, often resulting in assaults or murders. Mammon is a
Jesus,
creature of
Mammon.
unusual cruelty in that he understands it is necessary to let someone feel success and wealth and comfort, and only then does snatching it all away from them truly hurt the most. Warbands that venerate him are a very embodiment of greed and arrogance. Mammon often works from the shadows, using the power of gold and luxury to corrupt everyone, be they human or demonic. He has been known to enact complex and multifaceted plans to manipulate the lords of hell to his favor, in the truly Byzantine politics of the damned. It is claimed that much of hell's inability to truly push out from the gates of Inferno is because of Mammon's plotting. With Beelzebub in a current position of strength, it doesn't serve Mammon's interest to have a wave of disease-ridden destruction, ruining everything of value. He'd rather drag out the war until he is in a position to fully prosper from it rather than see others benefit. His mortal followers are much the same, arrogant, manipulative, and greedy beyond comprehension. Mammon only chooses those who have accumulated vast wealth through foul means, and especially favours those who do war on his behalf to extract wealth from those they have conquered or slain. The warbands who follow the Prince of Greed call themselves the Knights of Avarice, and are known only to sack the richest cities, besiege the most opulent settlements, and quit the field the moment staying there becomes too costly. Such heretics display their wealth extravagantly, and prefer to carry the most expensive and hard to acquire weapons, armour, and equipment, and they suffer none to join them who lack the means to acquire their glittering panoply. They are festooned with chains of gold and finest silk cloaks, and their armour is gilded with gold and decorated with precious stones, and the handles of their great coin hammers are made of the rarest of woods. The Knights of Avarice accept members from the children of the rich industrialists in Europe, or the bored sons and daughters of royal families who have sworn allegiance to Mammon for the promises that they will get to keep their family thrones after Hell succeeds in taking over the earth. The Knights of Avarice also have access to complex hidden economies, loyal merchants, politicians, entertainers, and
So something I want to say about the Knights of Avarice, if they really do wear lots of armor in gold, shiny stuff. Gold is a soft metal unless somehow they made it to make it so it's very defensive. But yeah, gold is kind of useless. But then again, they're demons and followers of the demon of greed, the demon prince of greed. So that makes sense. But still, it's kind of seems like a useless thing. But that's just
scholars who all send wealth and supplies in much the same way that the loyalists of Christ support New Antioch. This gives them access to weapons, armour, and supplies that might normally only appear in the armies of the Trench Pilgrims, New Antioch, or the Iron Sultanate itself, as there is truly nothing that money cannot buy. Yet, despite the opulent wealth on display, their finery is tarnished by blood and soot that spews from the Hellgate, and the delicate artistic filigree of their golden masks is both terrible and beautiful in equal measure. The Knights of Avarice cannot hide what they are, and all the gold and glittering jewels is not enough to stop their true souls manifesting, especially as they get closer to the gates of hell. In combat, they favour hammers and clubs that break bones but leave the flesh and blood intact, as well as poison gas and highly accurate rifles. Broken bones will heal, and incapacitated enemies can fetch a good price in the slave markets, or be used as free labour in the many business interests that Mammon controls. They scorn crude and destructive fire or explosive weapons that could damage any objects of value. They also specialise in gas weapons, which can destroy an enemy while leaving all their gear and armour intact. The highly feared Goethic warlock is also a common sight amongst the Knights of Avarice, as these eternally hungering creatures are the result of Mammon's infernal workshops and factories, and are slaves to his never-ending desire for more power and more wealth. After the Knights of Avarice have claimed a victory in combat, they scour the battlefield or any settlement they've conquered like a swarm of locusts. Anything and everything of value is taken. Metals from brass to bronze and from silver to gold, art objects, precious stones, livestock, tradable goods, rare tomes and scrolls. All are meticulously catalogued and carried away by slaves and demonic beasts of burden, or great armoured cars that take the stolen loot to vast underground treasure chambers which act as the temples of Mammon. Even the dead are stripped of their flesh with an impassioned skill of a seasoned butcher, ready to be sold at markets of the heretic domains.
Dude, it's kind of nuts how they're making sure nothing goes to waste. Jesus Christ.
And internal organs are taken from their fallen victims or carefully preserved in alchemical liquids to be sold to the scientists of the infernal laboratories.
Any way to make money, huh, Mammon?
The act of war is an ever-expanding economy, and every dead combatant has a value, even the ones on his own side. The Knights of Avarice treat their own dead with little dignity, as the only thing of worth is power, and power is wasted on the deceased. Their own soldiers will be stripped of their armor and weapons, butchered like animals, and rendered down in the same grotesque manner of their enemies, until eventually even their bones and connective tissues are boiled into glues to create the ledgers of Mammon's many infernal bookkeepers and quartermasters.
Mm.
The property of Mammon is constantly counted and recounted, with everything trackable from pennies to princes, and when something cannot be located, Mammon's greed turns into an uncontrollable anger. For the heretics of the path of Mammon, hoarding riches is not merely desire, it is their religious compulsion. They are driven every hour of every day to increase the wealth of their leader, to find him more resources, more workers, and more slaves. Ironically, they gain little pleasure from their vast wealth, as their greed makes them continuously desire ever more riches. Thus, their warbands roam the no man's land, looking for forgotten treasures or foes to dissect and turn into wealth. For the greed of Mammon will never be satiated, and after he owns every speck of wealth and power on the earth, he shall turn his eyes back to heaven, to those brightly gilded roads that first caught his eye, long before the first fall.
That's kind of nuts, though. It's interesting that the Knights of Avarice are so weird, but it's also kind of nuts that nothing goes to waste with them. If they capture someone, they make sure to sell everything in the most pristine just to make sure they get the most money. It's kind of weird, yet kind of oddly um inspiring that they don't let anything go to waste, but at the same time that's kind of weird way of thinking it. Anyway, I love you all. I will see you all later. I'm gonna open up a Patreon soon. I have a Ko-Fi. If you guys want to donate to that, please feel free to do so. We'll link in the description. Okay, bye.